Look, I'm going to say some things that I think are slam dunk true and accurate and no-brainers. It's just that you will not hear things like this in the drive-by media. But I got to tell you, folks, I'm 63. I have been paying attention to this issue since I was a teenager. It doesn't matter who is the president. It doesn't matter who's running the Palestinians. It doesn't matter who the prime minister of Israel is, really. This dispute has never changed in terms of the way it is presented in the media. And it's always presented in the media as though there is a diplomatic solution that can be had, that is there for the taking. And there isn't. There never will be a diplomatic solution. There will be diplomatic moments. But diplomacy is not going to solve this. The only way, it's not just this, it's any conflict like this that involves military. One of these two sides is going to have to win, and the other is going to have to lose. And until that happens, there will not be a solution. And yet, every day of my life, I have been force-fed the idea, conventional wisdom, doesn't matter. Every year of my life, every day, every month, I've been force-fed news stories wherein the narrative or the template is that a diplomatic solution is at hand, or a diplomatic solution looks grim, or a diplomatic solution is slipping away, or we're on the verge of gaining a diplomatic, and it's none of it true. There is no diplomatic solution. We've had some of the best diplomats the world's produced try to solve this, and they have failed. We've had some of the worst diplomats the world has produced, one of them serving right now, and they have failed. Because there isn't a diplomatic solution. All you have to do is read the Hamas Charter. The Hamas Charter explicitly calls for the elimination of Israel. There is no way to negotiate that. There is no middle ground. We've been dealing with this episode this way. Let me just pick a year. Since 1950, all right? 64 years of trying the identical thing. Doesn't matter the president, doesn't matter the Israeli prime minister. Why, after 10 years, does somebody not get it? Now, I understand that there's a lot of political power to be gained by talking about how much you hate war, and you do anything to stop war, and you'll do anything you can to stop civilian casualties. There's great political gain there if you can convince people that's what you're after, either as a Democrat president or a Secretary of State or what have you. But it's still all fluff. When one of the combatants has in their, essentially their constitution, called charter, their constitution, the elimination, eradication, the demolishing, the abolishment of the Jewish state. Well, there is no diplomatic solution to that. And yet, every day we get breathless reporters working and reporting on the next proposal as though this might be the magic moment. And there isn't a magic moment. Because there is not a diplomatic solution. It's not possible. And especially if you send somebody over there like Kerry, who's got his own agenda for his own legacy and his own bio and what have you, and ditto Obama. So Kerry wants ceasefire. What happens in ceasefires is that the bad guys take advantage of the timeout to retool, to regroup, and rearm. It is a fact that the two countries involved here have a different definition of peace. To Hamas and the Palestinians, peace is a momentary lull in the normal state of affairs, which is war. That is normalcy for them. They raise their children on it. They strap bombs to their children to go blow themselves up in Israel, in bus depots and on buses and in schools. War is their way of life. You may not like hearing it. You may find it difficult or impossible to believe, but don't doubt me. So anytime the United States pushes for a ceasefire, whether they know it or not, they're aiding Hamas. But I don't think that's why they do it. Don't misunderstand. I think they push for a ceasefire because they all want to be seen as brokers of peace. And they all got this dream of being the guy who finally brought peace to the Middle East. They all have that much hubris. They all have that kind of ego to think they, with the power of their personality, their ideas, and the fact that they served in Vietnam, can bring to these negotiations elements that others have never had. Every one of these guys thinks they have the magic bullet, and there isn't one if it is involved in diplomacy.